Quick touch. Double check the steering wheel.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Nice and smooth. Get it all done all day long. Got a good feeling about today, guys.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
Too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
He knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Do you like doubleheaders? Well, we're part of the second half of one. Tonight, the Mystic Racing League continues its doubleheader with a trip to the Irish Hills of Michigan. The Slim Chickens Cup Series gets ready to go racing. Tonight's coverage will be for the Irish Hills 250, part of the second half of a Bristol, Michigan doubleheader on VSPEED. Good evening, everyone. I'm Justin Prince alongside Morgan Cook, Dougie Beard, providing the cameras for tonight's coverage once more tonight. This track is a lot different than the last race we were just in. Tonight, we head to Michigan International Speedway now for race 2 of the evening for 250 miles, Morgan.
You can't really have a much different racetrack than Bristol than this one. 2 miles, very wide and flat and banked corners. Sweeping corners here. You can run the bottom, you can run the middle. High side's not really an option here since the repave back in, I believe it was 2012, 2010, something like that. But very, very different than Bristol. We'll see speeds upwards of 195 miles an hour down to turn 1 and probably a little slower than that down to turn number 3. Draft will be a big factor. Fuel mileage is always an issue here. And tires should wear more than we saw just a few minutes ago.
Indeed, and it's going to be an interesting night as a result for how the strategies play out this evening. Keep in mind, much bigger night in total, 30, 70, 125, going to be some of the stages. We'll touch upon more in a little bit. Now, as things get themselves sorted out here tonight, some of the major things for the competitors here for tonight are quite simple. Can you save the fuel, Morgan? Better yet, Can he plot and plan to get to the front? Reminder, we are at 65% fuel for Michigan tonight.
And that fuel number will be interesting. We'll talk more about it in race analysis, but that fuel number, little fuel save required to make it into stage 1. You're going to be about a lap short with the pace laps, maybe 2 laps short. And then you'll have to pit certainly in stage 2, and probably once or twice in stage 3. A lot of pit stops our way here tonight, but if you can save a set, if you can end up stretching the mileage a little bit, it's going to put you in the catbird seat at the end of this one.
Definitely will, to say the very least, here as we get ourselves in position tonight. Race control still in the midst of its drivers' meeting to prepare drivers for this evening's festivities. One of the things to note here, a lot of drivers who ended up not taking part in the first half of the doubleheader, Morgan, are here for the second half. Some of the other notables amongst that list include Jacob Cochran, Clayton Good, even Anthony Marino's in a different car for the second half of the doubleheader. A lot of people stayed out of the race at Bristol, but did appear for Michigan to at least get some racing in tonight.
And drivers swapping car numbers as well. You mentioned Marino in the 48 this time because Derek Jewett's back in the 45 where we normally see him. Matthew Gary in the 51. That was, of course, Tristan Brunelli just a few minutes ago. Gary in a different car, I think the 35, if I'm not mistaken. Now Gary's in the 51. Corey Jones makes an appearance. And then a lot of drivers doing double duty, right? Dave Billings, Isaac Wilson, Knopf Schneider, Beckett Brown, who's in that same number 2. Zach White, Colin Bollinger, Hayes, Curl, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a mixed bag, a very different roster, a lot more drivers here for Michigan than there were for Bristol.
Yeah, a couple more overall are going to be in the field. 25 when we get the green flag. We start with 24 at Bristol, but the attrition, in theory, shouldn't be coming into play as much tonight here at Bristol Motor Speedway. As the drivers continue to get informed on the rule set here, one of the notes that we'll see amongst those on the grid tonight, Good, one of the drivers who did not take part in race 1. He's already been the talk of the competitors here. Fastest driver by near 2/10 in final practice here tonight. Also, fastest amongst those in qualifying for tonight, Morgan. The 91 is going to be an interesting character, especially if they back up the speed with race pace.
Clayton Good's been good all year long. I mean, I think back to probably the most similar track to this one we've raced so far, Chicagoland. A little more abrasive in Chicagoland than here, but that car ran pretty darn well at that 1.5 miles, which is honestly not that far away from Michigan, all things considered in the grand scheme of the United States of America. So I expect Clayton to be good here tonight, and he clearly has been for the first 2 stages, or first 2 sessions, I should say. Let's see how the race plays out as we're still waiting for this drivers' meeting to conclude as we wait for drivers to get into their cars and get them fired up.
That's the major thing right now. Who else are you keeping an eye on to step up their performance here in this one after Bristol definitely shook up the field, to say the very least. Only 10 finished on the lead lap at the last great Coliseum, remember.
I think Beckett Brown will have a better night than better end of the night than the start to the night in the 2. I mean, Hinson ran well, obviously, was up in a position to get a podium in the last 40 laps of that race. He should have a good bounce back. I believe I saw the 39. Yes, 39 is in the field here tonight. Christian Barnes, I expect to run pretty well here at the 1.5 miles. The 2 mile track, I should say. So some drivers certainly have the opportunity to do better than they did at Bristol. And then drivers, of course, who had good runs at Bristol will have a great opportunity to maintain that momentum. I'm talking River Hayes, Devin Curl, Colin Bollinger, of course. One other driver to keep an eye on, Caleb Hunt, of course, crashed out early in Bristol. Should expect a better night here at Michigan for the 19. But now we can get down to the grid, see where your favorite driver is going to start the race.
We talked about Clayton Good. He's going to be amongst those up at the front here. We'll see that tick over in just the next moments or so as we get ourselves fired up and away in the next moments or so. It's Anthony Marino Jr., though. We'll start on the outside of the front row, now in the 48 car. Watch and see how that plays out for row number 1. Row 2, you'll find Christian Barnes there. Colin Bollinger could have won the race. Instead, he decided to pit with 2 laps to go. Couldn't get himself into the top 3 in the end. He'll look to try and make up for that from row 2. River Hayes will look to sweep the night, starting in 5th. And then it's Beckett Brown looking for a better run at Michigan here in 6th. Devin Curl will start in 7th. Zach White, decent qualifying effort. 4 1,000 behind him on the outside of row number 4. Matthew Gary again filling in for Zachary White here tonight in the 51. Joshua Gillen in 10th.
Starting 11th tonight, Jacob Cochran in the 88. Dustin Lewis, his teammate, will start in the 12th position. 13th for Gavin Hinson. Reggie Kive starts in the 14th position. Row 8 belongs to Charles Robertson in the 17, and John Ullman in the 34. 17th for Derek Jewett in the 45. Keela Punt starts in 18th. Your top 20, Corey Jones and Harold Tucker III.
Then Brian Nelson starts 21st with Dave Billings down in 22nd here tonight. Isaac Wilson was the last driver who took a time. Jack Fiffner was 24th. Hearing technical issues might be the case for Jared Knopsnutter, by the way. He'll be the last car on the grid. Race Control accidentally joined as a competitor. So look top to bottom of tonight's order here tonight. As here's your race analysis tonight. Again, as mentioned, 125 laps. But as you can see, that fuel number, that's a little bit tight, isn't it, for stage 1? That is under the stage 1 total.
Precarious, especially with the extra pace lap we're about to receive. That's going to make it so you're going to have to either split it in half or save fuel. Now, that's going to be easy for guys in the back of the field who can lift and use the draft. For Clayton Good and others at the front, that could be a very tall task.
This could be a really tricky one for a couple drivers in terms of the fuel save, especially with 30, 70, and then 125 to the end here tonight. So 30, 40, and then do the math. Math
55.
Says, thank you very much.
You betcha.
Math is hard for me.
It is. Math's tough. Well, as soon as the go live button gets pressed, math just completely out the window. Remember, it was at CODA that I said 48 was half of 100 or something like that. Like I missed by 10 the halfway number. Whatever it was, it just was completely off. So yes, it's difficult. Math is hard.
Keys to victory tonight, Morgan.
Well, if you're doing math behind the wheel, make sure you get the fuel mileage right, because that is likely what this one's going to come down to. Fuel mileage and Michigan go together like insert 2 objects that always go together. Very important to get that right tonight. Can anybody beat Clayton Good? It's bad fast in practice, bad fast in qualifying, and starting on the pole in the 91. And finally, if you had a bad race in Bristol, shake it off and get after it for Michigan. If you had a good race, keep the momentum going and stay out of trouble. A single mistake here, especially on pit road, will likely derail your entire night, as I don't foresee a lot of cautions. Over-under for cautions, JP, we didn't talk about it pre-race. I'm going to set that number at 6.5. So I'm going to take the under on that one. I think it's going to be a nice, clean green race here in the Irish Hills.
I think it's going to be a clean night as well here at this track. It's going to be one of those races where things should, in theory, be fairly calm. Getting all set to go for tonight's coverage. We're happy to have you with us for the second half of our doubleheader here at Michigan. Sloan Chickens Cup Series ready to rumble. Good in control. Green flag is out. We're underway from MIS. Front straightaway for the first time. Of note, already clutch and coasting for many of the drivers in the field. Shouldn't be a surprise with the fuel number. Already, people are thinking quite simply, keep track position, but make sure you don't have to pit under green.
Yeah, pitting under green is going to be if someone that doesn't have to pit under green, it's probably going to put you a lap down. You're going to have a very difficult time getting that lap back. You got to balance that with not losing too much time because you get shuffled back. It's hard to pass here. It's a wide racetrack. It's a fast racetrack, but it is difficult to get around somebody.
Seen already a few drivers like Barnes in the police say, may as well take a couple spots while I can. It's the outside working. As you see some of the drivers like Cochran and company just trying to get something settled in here in the heart of the field. Not everybody is clutch and coasting. A lot of drivers are just trying to let the car naturally roll just in case here. After all, some 2x2 has popped up like you see here, a couple 3 wide moments too.
That's a wide racetrack. There's lots of room to do that. Just gotta be careful on the exit. Things close up.
See this right now in particular with some of the drivers in the back of the field really packed together here. This type of racetrack where normally after pit stops things can separate with green flag stops. Here tonight though, at least expecting things to stay together a little bit with the fuel stints, especially in stage 1. Hunt just hit the wall, a couple hours scattering about. Here's a look at one of the cameras here. You can see not too pleased Hunt because he smacked the wall.
I didn't get a chance to see in the driver cams in Bristol. Had a rough start to that one. Running 18th right now, about to lose a spot. Way on the high side for the 19. Going extreme fuel save for him. Oh, contact! Brad Nelson and Isaac Wilson underneath Caleb Hunt.
Tempers are flaring already. That was 3 wide. Nelson, I think, was not expecting Wilson to give space to the car to the outside. Race control just gave warnings. 3 wide again off the corner as Nelson zips by the 3 wide and Wilson zips by the sucker hold.
Oh, he got spun! Caleb Hunt just crashed. Oh my goodness. Just as we were on the driver cam for the 19. Oh my goodness.
Well, that didn't work out great, did it? Wilson was at the bottom of the racetrack. Contact with Caleb Hunt coming down the track to arc it in. Caution flag is out for the first time.
Yeah, he just had no idea Wilson was there. Oh, man, that's a big hit. And Corey Jones, that's also going to be a day ender for the 63. Let's ride on board. If we can here. This is Corey Jones.
Go to the bottom, not clear. Right there it gets clipped, right there off Brown.
You hear the motor explode twice. Yeah, that was a massive hit for Corey Jones and Caleb Hunt. Both those drivers will likely be done for the day.
So already 2 drivers with heavy contact. Well, this is definitely going to help with the fuel mileage game, is it not? Who tops it?
This should get you to the end of the stage. Some drivers will elect to come down and get fuel anyway, just to make it safe. So there's no more clutch and coast, no more saving, and you just go hard to the end of the stage. River Hayes leads those drivers down.
Yeah, a lot of people just saying, may as well come in, top off. Wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people just saved the set too.
Right.
After all,
tonight, I probably wouldn't take tires here.
No. 4 tires in the set in pit lane tonight. May as well save the extra set. A lot of people
everyone missed their pit box. Saw 4 or 5 drivers to back up. Narrow stalls here. Or not narrow, short stalls here in Michigan.
A little bit interesting there. Devin Curl, interesting enough, amongst those.
Still on pit road.
Yeah, what's going on there? That's already 22 seconds.
I wonder if maybe it's step away for a moment.
Gotta have.
Because no
He's
damage.
out of the car.
There's no damage on that car. It's got to be just need to step away for a minute. We'll keep tuned on that. Zach White's in the same boat, though. Tim Simmons had no damage either. There's Curl back. 40 seconds later.
I think Devin Curl might have wanted to check something in the replay. That's the only reason he jumped on the car.
That's possible.
So, all this with Christian Barnes, now your race leader, by the way, with scoring loose at the time of the caution flag. 27, usually pretty quick here at these types of speedways, or in speedways in general. Mind you, coming into the doubleheader, Barnes this season, 7th coming into the point standings into the evening with 7 top 10, 6 top 5 so far. Still choose the top.
Now, of course, points not updated after Bristol yet, so that will probably change once those are updated. But for now, Caleb Hunt is retired from the session. Corey Jones still on pit lane, likely will not be back. Zach White, final driver on the lead lap. He is off of pit road in the 77. Coming to the choose now. He might be tight to make it back to the field here.
Yeah, might have to hurry. 2 cars out. Zach White will rush to the back of the field as quick as possible, but it's good on the inside. Barnes on the outside for the restart. Bollinger on the inside, Marino on the outside. Then it's Gillen and Lewis. Then it's Robertson starting up towards the front with Jewett up there also. Pfiffner and Cochran amongst the top 10 also.
Yeah, I'm reading the chat here on YouTube, and Caleb, yeah, I feel ya. Sometimes iRacing just sucks. Sometimes it's just not your night. I felt that yesterday, very much so, on Green Flag TV. Yikes.
Big yikes, is all I can say to that.
Big yikes. But that's okay, because we're back racing in a moment here in Michigan.
Green flag's out, back underway, outside, got the launch. Look at that, Marino Jr. all over the bumper of the WFR car. Marino Jr., this is just his 3rd start in this series this season. Including Bristol earlier on tonight. He's going for the lead and taking the lead.
And down below the apron, too, got that car de-wedged and really rotated off the corner. Oh, hard wall contact for a few. Jewett fans out to try and avoid it. I think that was Robertson who popped the wall.
All sorts of scattering, yeah, I believe might have been also. He's amongst those up the middle now with Cochran ripping the top. It's a racetrack, mind you. You can search around and find multiple lanes after all. We're seeing plenty of drivers searching. Not as much saving, a little bit more aggression now that we don't have to worry about gas for the most part.
Yeah, it looks like right now top 13 stayed out on fuel as we have a 4-wide moment.
Little bit of chaos in the heart of the field. They still survive. Everyone else trying to find their way through to the traffic, including Nelson, you've seen. Robertson amongst those who dropped a fair bit with that, going from 9th all the way down to 17th.
I think Robertson has damage from when he hit the wall before that, or 2. It was a pretty big hit. It's hard to tell, though. The paint doesn't really match up properly. It's kind of hard to see if it's scraped up or not. Right side looks okay.
Already hearing something with race control popping up here, possibly. As you see the race leader scatter, new leader, Christian Barnes again. Side by side for 3rd as Lewis is now taking the opportunity to pounce the inside. Gillen, who is very quiet last time out. He is now in the top 3. He was in the teens all race at Bristol.
And never could get it going right for the 10. Didn't qualify well, didn't practice well, didn't race particularly well. Tonight, a much better showing for that throwback Valvoline car.
So far, trying to just find a way to pounce as Good shuffles into line in the 4th spot. Now, keep in mind, the top line, great to be able to make moves if you're on the outside down the straightaway. But it's up for grabs in the corners. Outside could work, inside could work. Either or could work. You just have to get to the outside by the straightaway, as you can see. Good example with Pfiffner. Couldn't get to the outside, cause Cochran gained the run. He's got the better power down the straight.
Also had a push from Beckett Brown. That helped the 88 on by also. And they all fan out right to where that black strip is at the very start or very exit of the corner. Everybody's aiming for that to exit, and it's easy to get crossed up and have multiple drivers hit that same spot and end up running into each other.
Joe amongst those into shuffle. Oh, a little bit of a bump back there. You see him amidst the chaos. Becca Brown gave a shot to Jewett. He's just up the road from where we were just looking at. All of a sudden, all but one or two cars are running the outside at Michigan. Look at this, though. 51. Now, part of the reason, believe Zachary King's not here tonight, his computer apparently broke after last night's race at the Milwaukee Mile. Remember, the one machine had heavy crashes in when they were trying to use track position to get to the front and strategy. Now tonight, his 51 for this series. Monsto's trying to fight hard here on the inside.
I would have thrown my computer out the window too after last night, but the window's too high for me to reach with this computer, so it stays on the ground where it is. So I understand, Zachary King, that having the computer break after last night's event.
I don't think it was intentional. Before anyone.
No, I don't think it was either, but the joke still stands.
Now that being said here, Nelson's having a solid run to the field so far. He is up 10. Yeah. Fiffner up in front of him is up 14. Nelson is pushing hard on these tires halfway through the stage.
Yeah, and neither of those drivers hit either. They're both part of that group who thinks they can make it, which I think they can, to the end of the first stage, which is 15 laps from now. Tires haven't really made, I mean, I don't think anyone took tires, I should say, but highest driver up who hit was Hinson, who's 11th.
Yeah, that kind of solidifies one thing I'm not surprised about is if you get track position, you have to find a way to keep it here. If you lose track position, it's so hard to get it back, Morgan.
Yeah. Yeah, not much more to it than that. So we got a battle for the lead. Marino makes a move down the backstretch. Got the quarter panel.
Got the door. Can he get the clearance?
It's got to be a slide job here. I don't think you can make this pass by sticking the bottom. Barnes going to have a good run off the corner. Side draft. Yeah. Back at the line, Barnes got him. Here comes Good.
Good. Yeah. He's got a big run. Hit the wall, actually, trying to set it up. Here comes an air slider. Marino this time not as much push into the corner to try and get it cleared by. Caution.
Oh,
Barnes in front.
And Nelson. Yeah, Nelson's wrecked.
Caution flag waves once again. Let's take a look at this one.
A meatball flag for Nelson.
Remember his progression to the field? Well, it just hit a big snag off for obvious reasons. It's 3 wide. And remember, he didn't like 3 wide earlier.
Yep. He hit Kime hard. I don't really know what happened there. That's a weird one. Like, I mean, I understand that they were 3 wide and understand that 34 is in the middle here, but it's almost like Nelson just didn't turn. Like, maybe didn't know they were 3 wide or didn't expect Ullman to be right there, but yeah, Nelson got the worst of that, and Kine is an unfortunate bystander.
Almost like he wanted them to be much higher up the racetrack to set up the arc.
But how? There's no room.
That's the exact point. So it's similar to the exact thing earlier where, remember, Nelson's like, I'm down here, and that was the same distance, give or take, that was given by the middle car when they had door-to-door contacts that drivers did earlier.
This
There's
is
time.
Kime saw. And that's a lonely feeling when you sail it off in the corner and all of a sudden there's a car. Oh, and Billings almost crashed too. And the car slides right up in front of your lane. You can't really avoid that. You hit the brakes, you hit the car. And just a different angle. It's a unfortunate situation, but race control right on it. Speaking of race control, there we are in the command center. Dylan Brumley making sure that we are all safe on the racetrack. Appreciate race control for what they do. It is a thankless job every single night across all the Mystic Racing League series, but they still do it every single time.
See, a lot of thought going into everything in terms of the discussion points here too in the admin booth. As up front, it's Marino that actually got the scoring loop, not the 27. That's interesting because at the top of the caution, Barnes was in front. But if you go back to a couple seconds earlier, Marino Jr. had been barely ahead in the middle of the corner towards the exit.
Yeah, just part of that slide job he was trying to pull. It worked out, the timing of it all. That's what you got to do sometimes. You've also
Snyder has reported multiple technical issues. You were saying,
yeah, you mentioned track position here and how it's hard to get it. A game I like to play, maybe not fun, a game I like to play at Michigan is how many times can I pit and still finish on the lead lap? I've done this before in races where, because when you pit here, you have really no, like, you're not going a lap down if you pit under caution, right? And if you just pit twice on every cycle to get that extra lap of fuel, which you might need, pit every time, you can end up pitting like 10, 12, 14 times in a race. I've come back and won from pitting that many times. It's not quite as impressive as that. What was it, 100 pit stops at Martinsville race that went viral a little while ago. But it's something to do when you're running mid-pack at Michigan.
right now as the field already have to choose through here. It's Marino Jr. on the outside, going on the inside. We're already coming up to 9 to go in stage 1, by the way. Drivers off track include Nelson, Hunt, Jones, as well as race control, technically speaking, part of tonight's incidents here. Choose is good. Nobody had any violations this time at the choose rule. But right now that 48 that we've seen Becca Brown drive several times up at the front this season, in line to potentially score some more valuable points here as things go. Help out the owner points, if you will, for that 48 car that's looking pretty solid for that in theory.
Yeah, I would have to imagine that pretty much all the damn cars are in a good spot in owner's points, considering they just seem to be able to pull fast drivers out of the ether. Where did Anthony Marino Jr. come from? Where did Beckett Brown come from? I don't know. But they have been very fast in their appearances.
Absolutely have. And now, Marino looks to take us to the green flag, coming to 9 laps to go here in Michigan. Green flag is out, back and away. Good. Gets himself a decent start, but he's got some help from Lewis. Look at that.
That was a pretty quick lane change.
Yeah, that is borderline. I think he changed lanes before the start and finish line.
I think that's a penalty.
It's already under review. So Marino Jr. may lose this. Keep an eye on Barnes. He's got what could be the lead. It's 3 wide.
4 wide.
Oh, 3 wide, still in the corner. 4 wide, still in the corner. Bollinger up the middle. Brown as well. Jewett drifting up. Fiftner way on the outside. Everybody survives the 4 wide down the front straightaway.
But look at the speed this group is losing. Now back to 2 and 3 wide. It's a highlight.
Confirmation on the radio. Marino will have an EOL, so Barnes is your leader.
Unreal. All he had to do was wait another few hundred feet, and it's no penalty.
Meant to say black flag on that mark, but either way, he's coming on down. This will put him essentially down in as low as 21st, maybe 22nd. As there he goes down pit road. Serve the penalty here in this one. Speed limit is 55 here tonight. Barnes,
shouldn't lose a lap, though.
Yeah, I was about to say Barnes the leader with all that. And if he had to stop in the box, it'd be a different story.
Right. Certainly. This is Clayton Good running second. Fastest car here. Practice and qualifying. Led a couple laps. Trying to get back up to the point here in stage number 2.
48's pass through is good. As good, you can see. He's got to make that bid.
Yes, I was thinking that actually. Hello. Not doing enough. Has to give us a quick wave to go down the front stretch. Trying to hold on to second. He's got Gillen pressuring and Dustin Lewis in the 4th spot.
Yep, just staying laser focused on top of the steering wheel, trying to figure out a way to get that run built up. Stain hasn't really gained him much down the straight. Actually had to get a shot. Skill took the outside here, coming to 5 laps to go this time. Not really gaining too much. In fact, Barnes really dug in on the inside. Lewis, by the way, holding on to 4th. Brown is in the top 5. Oh, wow. River Hayes and Gavin Hinson, the top off droppers for fuel. They're side by side actually for 8th and 9th.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good right now. Oh, Lewis is in the wall. Unforced error for the 8th. That's going to put Pfiffner in the opportunity. Oh, Hinson destroyed the outside wall. Oh, man, that car's killed. And they're 4 wide again into turn 3.
Apologies on the radio as Hinson looks to regroup. Hayes already in front, a couple spots from that. Hinson trying to get out of the way. That's what is indicated on the radio here, as he'll try and get himself situated pretty quickly, get some damage repair if there's any chassis damage like from a hit like that.
I don't know
Brown,
how he didn't get a meatball flag. That thing should be destroyed.
doesn't look like he's got aero. I think it's more so internal. If a hit like that had to be the place.
But even
by the
still,
way,
go ahead.
yeah, I was about to say, it's side by side for 3rd because Brown is making contact. Big save for the 2.
That car kicked out in a big way into 3. Door contact with Gillen. They all slide up the racetrack. No one gets in the wall this time. Here comes River Hayes, the blue car, on the bottom of the train. Hinson's kind of settled out now. I don't think that car's hurt too bad. Back to 11th.
I was going to say, didn't look like the arrow was hurt, but...
Oh, another car on the wall. That's Brown that time.
Yep, just scraped it. Going to keep the power together. Coming up to 2 to go. This time behind the stage. Brown's not been afraid of slide jobs. He's going to go for a heavy one here. Had to lift off the throttle, though. Couldn't get a full clearance. Actually pressured Gillen off the gas. They're stuck together again.
Might put Gillen in the wall here if he's not careful. Bollinger's going to try and fake to the top. Goes to the bottom. Might go all the way around him.
There he goes inside. Bollinger passes one. Did he pass both? Take away a couple points in the stage. Yes,
sure
he
did.
can.
Oh, another car on the wall, the 51. I think that was Matthew Garrity caught the wall.
And right now is in the conversation for the drivers, trying to figure out a way to get the 10th here. Again, coming up to 1 to go now in stage 1 here from Michigan. Curl slides up in his pack. That is in the battle for 10th onwards. Hayes with a push. Hinson on the prowl in the 10th spot of the bubble. He gets zipped on by Robertson.
Final lap of stage 1.
Time around for stage 1. We have some contact in the wall. Brown and Gillen were stuck together. They both popped the wall this time, and Brown paid the price with damage. Hinson on screen looks to battle and hold off 2 cars. Looks like he'll be in the position to potentially do so. Green, white checkered flag coming up. Christian Barnes ran away up at the front, but it's still racing in the back. It's 4 wide, a
big
crash of the
crash.
line.
Robertson. Final stage point goes to Hinson. Oh, Jewett got a big part of that.
That was
meatball
right,
for Robertson.
Yeah, right in the heart of that battle for 10th. It was 4 wide at one point for the bubble spot. But here's the reason the 17 ended in the wall. You see him riding high.
This got stuck together.
Why was he riding so low coming off the corner there?
Back and look at it again. The The 17 or the 45?
Yeah, I can't tell if he was just trying to pull back the 17, get us, or rather the 45, get a spot, and it ended up a contact or not.
I think he was just trying to close off the 45's exit. I mean, yeah, he came down. Oh, yeah, they decided the side draft gone wrong. That's all that was. Although, I mean, they were running for 11th, so I don't really know why he needed a side draft. But Robertson paid the price. That car is killed.
Yeah, and obviously already has towed to pit road and out of the car as a result. With our first stage coming to a close. Once again, your stage: Barnes, Good, Bollinger, Pfiffner, Lewis, Curl, Gillen, Brown, Hayes, Hinson. Unofficially amongst your top spots there for this stage caution. So, now it's the tough part. We know for certain these drivers, unless they get a caution flag at the right time here, are not going to make the distance in stage 2.
I don't even think that's going to help. I don't think there's a hope you're making it in stage 2 on fuel, at least not competitively. You pretty much have to cut it in half, I think.
Yeah, now let's find out the game plan. As first step of the game plan, get on the right strategy, which is everybody to pit road. Only driver not to pit down is, interesting enough, Dave Billings.
And Billings pit 13 laps ago. He was part of that wave that all topped off. So he's got a little bit more in the tank and go probably 15 laps, which if he catches a caution and he can keep track position, he could make it into the stage at that point. He's really not in that bad of a spot. It's just going to be, to lose all the track position under green. Assuming, I guess if everyone has to pit it, it'll probably work out. He needs a fully green stage, though, for this to work. Or a caution right before he pits. Either would work fine for him.
So Barnes, Bollinger, Good, Lewis, Curl with the race out pit road that time by. A lot of people taking damage repairs. Jewett, Brown, amongst those, Hinson indeed did have damage repair. He's amongst those taking the service for a lengthy amount of time there. So, a lot of people trying to make sure cars are up to speed before they get to the choose this upcoming time by. Dave Billings, the wild card in all this. First time up at the front and amongst this doubleheader here tonight. Mind you, Billings only one previous start. And that came at Eldora, actually. And he was pretty quick at Eldora, actually.
Yeah, he was. I mean, been an ARCA driver for most of the season. Came to Eldora, made his first start, and yeah, ran well. Ran top 10 all day. I don't know if he quite finished in that spot. That race got pretty wild at the end, but a very solid effort for the 14.
Choose as Billings amongst those on the outside. Barnes, interesting enough though, Morgan, chose to be behind the 14. Not expecting tire fall around tire spin to be a major factor here per se, but I'm curious what Barnes' game plan is here behind Billings in terms of trying to find a way around the driver, offset on strategy quickly.
I think the thing about starting right behind the leader is, especially in a track like this where you mentioned tire spin shouldn't be a factor, you can suggest when the leader goes a little bit here. You can, as the driver in third essentially, you can force the issue a little bit on the restart and kind of make that leader go, and then it's really your timeline as to when the race gets restarted. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's a questionable strategy, and some drivers do it better, and some drivers do it more aggressively than others, I'll say. So, yeah, that's all. That's where we're going to leave it for now.
So Billings up in the front. Billings said, I thought more would stay out. Colin Boncher's response, it's stage. Great point.
Yes.
So Billings needs a caution flag, obviously. We'll find out how this strategy works for him. Already throttling up before the restart zone. Green flag is out. And that made it easy for Bollinger to guess it.
Yeah, that might be another under review restart. I mean, you can't go before the restart zone, and it looks like the 14 did, but paid the price for it, so I don't know if it really matters anyway.
Mind you, he was not one of the drivers who picked up black flags that need to be cleared.
That was the eight who caught the wall.
Yeah, Lewis again popping up. He's in the midst of some of the side-by-side. Billings a little bit close for Cupper with the 55. As Fiftner goes 3 wide, everybody shuffles past Billings.
Yeah, those old tires were not the right call here. Falling back rather quickly through the field.
Everybody quickly shuffling him to the back of the field in quick order. Marino, by the way, for his sake, already amongst the top 5 here, right alongside Lewis. Remember, he had that drive-through and just cut the 55 off.
Yeah, just chopped the nose.
Everybody else just continuing to try and roll on through here. Under 100 laps to go already in the race. Still 89 to go in itself. Racing again to lap 70 in this stage for this field. Marino is the only driver trying to dive underneath. Restart is good, Morgan. No penalties for the 53.
Yeah, I didn't think the 53 did anything wrong. I think if anything, it would have been the 14 for launching too soon as the leader, going before the restart zone. But I think because of how bad the tires are, didn't really make a difference. He lost 3 spots by the time they got to turn 1 anyway. Shout out Derek Jewett. That car was just wrecked. Back up to 8th.
Yeah, it's looking pretty steady so far here tonight. But the race leaders are side by side again. Barnes just got underneath Bollinger. Now the Domino's machine looking to rush that pizza into the race lead. Instead, it's Bollinger who gets the run back. I think
Easy
Barnes
clear.
making it clear. Barnes making it clear this is his type of night here tonight. Try and break into victory lane. He is yet to get a win this season.
And I think if there's one driver who's going to do his best to keep Christian Barnes from getting a win, it's going to be the 53. No love lost between these two. Not huge fans of each other. You can tell on the racetrack that they feel that way about each other.
You see how Barnes rolls his way to the inside yet again. Mind you, if they battle aggressively here, Good has an opportunity to try and attack them both here and take away a run from either of these drivers to get to the point. Good for his measure, really trying to find clean air and try and maximize the lines I've noticed all night. That 91 has been really solid in terms of his lane choices in amongst his pack.
Yeah, and he's been riding in second or third really all night. Just steadily hanging out here. I think he's sizing up the drivers in front of him. Not showing anything, not playing any cards yet. Just doing what he can to stay in touch with the leaders. And when we get down to the pay window opening, I think then we're going to start to see what this car really has as far as speed and as far as moves from behind the wheel.
Right now we're seeing just how much track position is helping out some of the drivers here. Look at Marino though. Flip the yellow line, that's going to cost him momentum to try and battle for the 3rd spot. He's looking pretty feisty here. Same for Lewis, right behind that 91. Lewis just took 4th back away, all because Marino's pass didn't work out initially there.
Yeah, that's the difficult thing about this. And Marino, holy cow, he driving in on the high side. Wow. That's a power move from the 48.
Now we're side by side, and once again the 48 zips on through, and once again the pass is done. Jewett, by the way, making his own pass attempt. I'll try and move to the inside. Remember, didn't appear at Bristol, but in his starts has looked pretty steady this season, at least, I mean. But it's amongst the drivers that's jack of all trades, 20th in points. He's got a couple top 5s this year.
Yeah, it's been a mixed bag for Jewett, certainly. You could ask him, he'd say the same thing, that he typically runs better than he finishes, average running position much higher than finishing position. Just a lot like Dustin Lewis, something seems to go wrong about every week. Can run up in the top 5, run up in the top 10, but like the issue with Robertson, right? Something that was kind of unforced, just an incident that happens. Those usually derail the day for the 45. Not today, at least not yet. So far, so good for Derek Jewett. It's Curls on pit road.
That's early. Very early.
It is. I almost wonder, well, there's either a problem, something outside the sim, or two, he just knows he can make it from here and probably won't go a lap down. Or he might even. He was a ways behind the leader, so hard to say.
Top off fuel only.
Yeah, he's off the pit box. He's just getting up to speed now. He'll probably be the first car a lap down.
I can see what the play is here potentially here, Morgan.
He can stay on the lead lap. He's in great shape.
I think he's going to not stay on the lead lap. He's going to be just behind the leaders. But my thought is he saves a ton of time on pit road. You're talking 10 seconds.
Right.
With the way the fall off has gone here so far, only about 4, maybe 7 tenths. That's going to be a huge play if he's able to make the time stand compared to those who might take tires here under the pit stops.
That's true. And he just is already in a position where he's going to get clean air when the leaders pit. There's going to be no traffic to worry about for the 15. He should be in a good spot here as long as we stay green. If we get a caution, I mean, he's lucky dog's not the end of the world. It just kind of nullifies what he just did. But if we go green for a while, he's looking pretty good to the end of the stage.
You see how much he's just starting to approach some of these drivers here with some of the errors clutching coasting a bit. John Ullman, by the way, set his name a grand total 2 times at Bristol. He's now in the top 10 here tonight in this race at Michigan.
Yeah, one was the grid and one was when he had his moment with Hinson at the end of the race. Title sponsor car, Slim Chickens, of course, on the side.
But Ullman, for his sake, has worked very hard this season at the least. You can see though the race leaders, some of those at least thinking about things. Barnes has plummeted down the order here. Is
pitting.
Barnes thinking to stop? Yes, he is.
Yeah, we're pitting here. Are we not pitting here?
What's going on here? Is he trying to make the stage?
Man, that's a big stretch. And also, I mean, you already wasted 14 laps of it. This should have been happening from lap 1 of the stage.
Yeah, he has gone into massive slow pace mode.
Yeah, I don't like this call. I don't think this is going to work out well for the 27. Again, in 1 lap, he's lost 11 spots, give or take.
Yeah, heavy clutch and coast. He's on the clutch. Clutch.
Almost get wrecked here by Zach White.
Yeah, that's a good point. He might get ran over here. He's trying to roll it slow much. Well, everyone else is saying, I'm just going to push until pit stops.
Right. And I think the other thing to notice, too, is he's basically racing Devin Curl at this point. Because Devin Curl is the only driver we know who, with no questions, can make it. Oh, they're wrecking by anyway. 55, 88, 77. If you have 2 numbers that are the same on your car, it's probably not going well for you right now.
Caution flag is out, and a lot of contenders, at least who have been in the conversation in the top 10 at minimum, are collected yet again. See what happened here. They were starting to go side by side there. This doesn't look good off the exit.
Yeah, just I don't know if that's a miscue or what happened between the 88 just annihilated the wall. That's a day ender. 55's around. Ooh. Back and look at it one more time.
Yeah, almost looked like Cochran had a little bit of an oblong, so to speak, apex right there that pushed him up. Then he pushed up even more. And Fiftner was lower too.
Yeah, I think that's just a kind of a case of 2 drivers, neither really in the right spot. And then Zach White tried to break forward and ended up getting in it himself. Trying to avoid the broadside of Fiftner. Motor's not necessarily blown on the 88. It's just not in good shape. It's able to do a burnout still, so still car is running, but I don't think any of those three are going to be terribly pleased with how their cars drive after this.
Definitely not. 76 to go coming up here. Still coming up to 21 to go in the stage. This definitely going to bring everyone good on fuel, and that's why just about a majority, if not all the drivers in the lead lap will indeed come down pit road. So that strategy did not work out at all for Barnes all of a sudden, did it?
No, it didn't. Just gave up track position for nothing. Question is, what does Curl do? I mean, getting lucky dog, obviously, so that's clear. But does he come down for tires here?
I'm not sure. That's a great question.
Because he doesn't need fuel. He's good on fuel. What do you do? Most drivers. Oh, what do we see? I see a lot of 2 tires and fuel only. Actually, a lot of fuel only.
I mean, at that thought process, is it worth it burning the extra set here that you have in the bank, trying to get some passes to try and get an extra few points here and set up stage 3? Or do you try and make the charge back through the field in stage 3?
Hard to say. I mean, points battle too, right? He's racing Wilson and Hayes, neither of which have been really stellar today. What does the 15 do here? Race off pit road. Gillen. Actually didn't. Gillen didn't stop in the pit box, so Bollinger wins the race off pit road. Gillen missed his pit stall. Fuel only. There it is for Devin Curl. So Gillen, Bollinger, Lewis, Good, Ullman, your top 5 into the choose. Great run for Matthew Gary, 7th. There's Gillen back in, or hopefully into the stall this time.
Yeah, but now they all get into a pattern here. Look at that. A few drivers choose the bottom, first 2 in fact. Lewis, Gillen on an extra top off. Interesting. With us in the window. I'll drop it to the back, so.
Well, Gillen missed his pit stall the first time, so he had to pit the second time because he didn't do anything. Still couldn't make it, right?
Yes. So, with that in mind, John Ullman Amonsto is going to be starting top 5, Morgan. Good track position for him. Christian Barnes got all the track position back anyway with the fuel only.
Yeah, I don't really know how he managed that. He was just exceptionally fast down pit road. I mean, he was at least 2 seconds faster than every other driver. The pit stop was only a second faster, so he found something somewhere, either entry or exit, but he made up a lot of time, probably gained a dozen spots out of that.
So we get ready for the restart. Going to be 19 to go. So at least the lane's going to be in stage number 2 here. When we get back rolling here, the first on new tires is going to be Marino down in the 8th spot outside row 4.
Schneider got those technical issues fixed. He's up in 9th with fresh tires.
Just about geared up and ready to go here once again for this one. To the restart zone we go. Green flag is out, back on our way. Good start for Bollinger. He's off and away as the battle is on for second.
Train on the bottom here. Oh, Lewis goes way high.
Yep, you see just how things started off here immediately up at the front. Bollinger has pressure from Lewis. Remember, Lewis has been top 10 much of the evening. Good. Under attack by the high charging and fast rolling Barnes, who's now on full attack.
Those new tires haven't really gone anywhere yet. Marino's up 2 from the start.
You see just how much some of the drivers are really searching around and slipping about
Oh,
here.
John Ullman. Holy moly. There, you could have put a piece of paper between him and the 48 off of turn 2.
He really wanted that spot. And now, as you would expect, Marino immediately going on the attack. And Ullman having to lift off the gas for good measure anyway. So Ullman, long term, will lose 3 spots from it.
Yeah, just a miscalculation from the 34. They left the top open. 48 took it. Yeah, we'll pay dearly for that mistake. Back to 9th now. Yes, Curl's on the attack too. Up to 10th now.
Yep, you see how much Curl is trying to attack quickly. Now keep in mind, he did not take the tires to answer the question on that mark. So he's doing this on older rubber. Seems to be working out pretty well for him though. The first on fresh tires is Marino, then Jewett. Everybody else who pit is 12th on back.
And the tires are waking up. He's up to 5th. Marino is going to be 4th here if he ever passes Hayes. Question is it worth it now to put the rubber on? Oh, car in the wall. They're wrecking on the backstretch.
No caution yet. They're still wrecking. 55 of Fiffner. Gary in the 51. Now the 51 pulls up with the circuit. No caution. We stay green with it on the apron.
Teal car and the red, white, and blue 55 Form Energy machine. 51 had the lift, got the wall, tagged by Fiffner. Ooh, big hit to the back end for the 55.
Yeah, so that heavy contact will add a couple more into the incident bucket. Oh, wow. You mentioned the tires waking up for Marino. He really wants this stage. Under 15 laps to go. He's already under the attack for second. And ready to try and figure out a way to pass by this 27. Has to do it quick. Bollinger's running away.
I think once he clears the 27, it should be smoother sailing. Once you catch the draft of the 53, it's really clean air against fresh tires at that point. And I think fresh tires will win that battle. You still have to be excellent at your marks because Bollinger's not an easy guy to pass.
And we're seeing just how much some of the others are really trying to pounce here.
The Jute's another one of those fresh tires. He's up to 6th.
See Jewett, indeed. Still hitting a bit of a wall, though. His pace last time by was a couple of tenths quicker than some of the drivers on older rubber, but it's still not enough to fully make passes. You can see right there, just cannot find a way to clear even with the tire difference. As a couple drivers pop the wall back there.
I wonder if the tires are like for 5 laps, you can run it as hard as you have to. But after those 5 laps, they drop back to even with everyone else so quickly that it's just not worth it. So if you have a 5-lap run, maybe tires are worth it, but anything longer than that, it's not really going to do anything. But it also took 2 laps to get the tires to warm up in the first place. So it's like a 3 or 4 lap window that you can really make time up on these fresh tires.
Yep, right now you see just how much curl in particular in comparison to the older tires. Just able to continue to slow roll and make up some of these passes. By the way, Hinson, for his sake, after some of the repairs over the course of this race, he's now made his way up to the 9th spot. On his attempt to recover a lot of those spots, spent a minute and a half last caution getting repairs.
That car's clearly driving okay. Back up in the top 10, just worked around Knopfschneider. As we got a battle for the lead now, but no, it's not Marino. Barnes and Bollinger.
Yeah, look at this. Barnes ready to try and figure things out, but the pattern is on in the inside.
Oh,
Marino trying to get a little bit aggressive there. Got the run, and Barnes got shot up the track from that. Marino into second.
I think he was trying to follow the draft to the 53 and didn't notice where he was. It's exactly what he was trying to do.
Now, it's Marino that's got the potential upper hand on the pace side with under 10 to go on the stage. Try and go after this spot quickly. All while good for his sake. Lowest point he's been in tier tonight. He's dropped all the way to 9th on the opposite side of the spectrum.
Yeah, those old tires on the 91 are just not working. Starting to give up here. Quick on the short run, not great on the long run for Clayton Good tonight.
Yep, right now the nervousness definitely going to be settling on in for a couple people. But you just see how these choo-choo trains have formed up, and Marino is ready to go after it. He's on to the apron, trying to send it so aggressively. Well, he lost a little bit of momentum as he stays back in line, looks to try and set up this 53 fast.
I've really seen the 48 use the apron more than anyone else, more than anyone I've ever really seen here at Michigan, to get the car to rotate. Usually that's something you see at Auto Club, turn 3 and 4, to really get it to turn, but it's just like there's so much banking difference that I'm surprised it doesn't spin him out.
Yeah, but right now, remember that under the first seam, a little touch bit flatter compared to above the first seams. Right now, Marino with that still trying to find a way to get that to work. Not working that time. Near contact with Bollinger switching the lines.
Yeah, aggressively trying to not allow draft to the 48. Under 10 to go in the stage, racing to 70. Top 3 separate themselves from River Hayes and Devin Curl. Lewis, Jewett, Hinson behind them, trying to determine who's going to finish, who's going to round out the top 10.
Look at that dive yet again for Marino. Yet again, floating with the apron. Yet again, costs him some momentum. We're coming up to 6 to go this upcoming time by. The top 3 have broken away by more than half a second to River Hayes. 29 laps led for Bollinger tonight. Your most out of the field, 24 for Barnes, 6 for Marino, and a scatter of a couple of laps apiece for Good and Billings. That's about it in terms of who's controlled things tonight here from Michigan. Bollinger trying to play the snake.
Little Indianapolis in the Irish Hills, as it were. Battle for 6th. Juice can try and get around Lewis. Lewis has momentum. I think the high side is really the only way to go now. I don't think the bottom's going to work very well for the remainder of this run. Look at the ground Jewett lost by trying to go to the bottom that one corner.
Yeah, see him really trying to play around and dance around. Hinson, for his sake, by the way, at the very least, on his strategy, trying to figure out a way to gain another spot here. Right now, for him, this entire event, over the course of the doubleheader, has had speed in both races. Give him that credit.
The issues in both races as well.
That's the airplane I was trying to lose.
Oh, they're wrecking behind him.
No caution yet.
Isaac
Snyder
Wilson.
Involved. Yep.
Kind of saw this one coming here as Marino. I think Marino's working over Bollinger. Let's see what happened here first. We'll go back to the race lead in a moment. Near caution.
Yep,
And Knopfschneider just into him.
Wilson was not happy on the radio, to say the very least, about that.
Great save.
Phenomenal one. Burned his tires up, though, and Wilson with that kicked out to 13th on the racetrack. Marino, as we looked away, took the lead away, and Bollinger was slow a bit off the corner, in fact.
Under 5 to go in the stage. New player up at the front. The question, though, burning instead of the tires, was it worth it? Will it come back to bite him later in the race?
Especially with the longer stage 3 to think about here. Here we go. As they work their way through stage 2, coming to the final stage laps. I think they accidentally closed pit road a lap early, because at 3 to go, they just did that right now. that in mind. Doesn't matter. Marino is in front. Some of the drivers like Hinson still battling with Jewett. You have Hayes, who is caught up to Barnes also with 2 to go.
Highly contested tonight. We expect the drivers to get strung out a little bit, but it hasn't really been as strung out as I expected. Very damaged car of Reggie Kime. Leaders will be catching here in a few moments. That thing's got to be driving like a dump truck right now. Kime still in the lead lap somehow. Will be the first car 1 lap down. Harold Tucker the third can be very frustrated. The only other driver a lap down will not get the lucky dog here, as Kime just lost the spot.
Kime pinned a lap down. Will be lucky dog. Just got hit by Bollinger in the middle of the corner. Kime got a scrape, took the high line, and nearly drifted up into Bollinger again. Now in front of Barnes. This stacks up Hayes. Kime becoming a factor here as Curl tries to drive 3 wide. Lap traffic still not out of the way. Kime hit again as he gets put into the wall. All this has allowed Hayes to drive his way to 3rd. All while Marino will take the green-white checkered flag over Bollinger, Hayes, Barnes, and Curl. Well, what can you say? Kime not making friends there.
No,
as Lewis,
certainly not.
Hinson, Jewett, Good, Dillon are in the top 10.
And while he didn't do anything wrong per se, it's just kind of a situational awareness thing where you got to know that your car is garbage with how damaged the front end is. You just lost a full lap under green because your car's so far off the pace, and you still end up right where the leaders want to be. Like, why not on the front stretch? You know you're already going a lap down. Bollinger already passed you. Marino already passed you. Just pull over out of the way, let them go by, and then get back to racing where it's single file versus, holding up a 3-way battle for second. I don't know. It's maybe just different than that.
His counter argument is, I had steering damage, was what he said.
Then fix it.
Good point. And Kime with that even is still the lucky dog, as he'll try and get the wave and should get the wave. So
And that's the other part of it too, is that the only other driver a lap down was almost a full nother lap down. That's Tucker the third. Like, there was no way Kime was going to lose 15 seconds in 2 laps. I mean, you could give up 3 seconds, get out of the way, and make sure you're safe and not impact the top 5 position battle. But again, it is what it is.
Indeed. So, come with the 53 to go. It's quite simple. If you do the math in your head here, Morgan, it is essentially a close one-stopper from here, even if you factor in the earliest pit call. So, now we find out how everyone's going to handle things once we get rolling, when we're going to be upwards of 50, 51 laps to go. And right now, a lot of these drivers going to be tight on tire sets in a couple cases, but some of them are overflowing with Goodyear Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles are soaring today. Some have already gone on their flights, and some are about to take off. I think everyone will be 4 tires and fuel here. It's got to be, right? Looks like it. 51 hit pit wall. I think Jewett's the first off pit road. Out of the stall, I should say. Getting a lot of time here.
Yeah, but Marino was still the first one out.
He was.
Over Hayes and Barnes, Curl, Jewett, Ullman. Billings actually came out amongst the top 7. There are a lot of people with damage repairs. Good had some apparently.
Right.
Bollinger picks up some with the contact late. Gillen had damage. A lot of people picking up residual damage at 20, 30 seconds here.
Yeah, a lot of those drivers, too, were well behind the pack when they pit. So that's going to hurt as well. But, yeah, basically top 12 on the racetrack. Good, White, Lewis, Hinson, Kime, Pfiffner, and Tucker all fixing damage right now on the lead lap. Tucker being a lap down, I should say. Cochran, Beckett Brown, Charles Robertson, Nelson, Hunt, Jones, all out of the race with damage.
So as we come up to what's going to be a 51 lap to go mark, reminder, next time out this series we'll be racing once we start the month of May. Kentucky is the next circuit on the schedule, Morgan. If they choose here, your quick thoughts on Kentucky coming up to start the next month?
Well, they're trying to demolish it, and that's probably the right choice. Yeah, that's my thoughts on Kentucky.
Well, kind of showcase how the expectations for the race are going to go, I guess you could
Well,
say.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's put on fine racing in the past. It's not a racetrack I've ever personally enjoyed. As Marino, looks like you got a penalty for something. Choose violation potentially on the 48.
Yes. He did not move. He went up the middle.
Yeah, that is that's not going to work. Got to pass them all again.
Second one tonight.
It is. So to answer that question a little bit more, with a little bit more juice behind it, Jacob Cocker's going to love this. I have a ranking scale that I use for racetracks, and the very top of the scale is hallowed ground: Daytona, Indianapolis, Darlington, etc., Charlotte. At the very bottom of the scale, racetracks like Gateway, Kentucky, you could throw IRP in there, are could be swimming pools. Get the hose. And Kentucky, definitely in that swimming pool tier. Could probably be a quite a good water park, but racetracks, I don't know. I'm not certain about that. So there you go. There you have it.
Yep. Here we go. Green flag is out, back and away. Off and away. This time, River Hayes now in control for that restart. Barnes able to block off his teammate, though. Now all of this as well. Curl looks to attack for second. Heavy, deep send. It's the 15 to P2.
Yeah, easy clear off of turn 2. And how scary is it for the field to see Hayes and Curl leading in the final stage? Also, how did Tucker end up restarting in the top 5 as the only car a lap down? Curious.
Yeah, and you can see just how the drivers in the top 5 get to work in the single file here. Harold Tucker III is in 5th, by the way. Yes, you're not seeing things. That Sofa News machine has been very quiet tonight. It's ready to break some news and break some headlines.
He's 5th in line, but he's a lap down. He's 19th.
Yeah, well, great point.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused is how he started so high up in the field if he was a lap down. Only driver running who isn't on the lead lap.
Oh, I think there might be something. If we can go back to the restart. Guess who floored it and did the Carson Hocevar, I guess you could say?
Oh, Hale Tucker III. Okay. All right, he just got the black flag.
Yes.
All right.
Restart. He's already been told to go to the hauler. He floored it and passed 7 cars on the inside line after the start and finish line.
Yeah, that'll do it. All right. Well, we figured it out. I was going to say, like, there's no way that he was able to choose up in the top 5 and it be legal. We talked about it in the Bristol race. Drivers a lap down have to slow down, let all the lead lap cars choose first. There's no way he ended up choosing in the top 5, so something underhanded had to happen.
Yeah, now at this point, Hayes continues to hold on in front. Jewett the first side by side for a moment. Get this all sorted. You see some of the yards in the heart of the field. That includes Isaac Wilson trying to make up some of his ground. He's now trying to find a way around Billings. That's just right behind Knopsteiner and company. And Billings lends back in a line. See how much some of the drivers in the front of the field try to look for the clean air, like Bollinger here, for example. Got the repairs done, already top 5 again. just how the feist is about to happen for the race lead, though. Barnes just got alongside for the point. Resets, back in line.
I think you have to be 100% sure you can make that move for the lead. You cannot be halfway and have that run stall out, or you're going to lose second to Curl more than likely. Look at Marino on the high side. He got to the quarter panel. Oh, he didn't get to the quarter panel. Got shut off.
Yeah, now you can see how Marino, at the very least in his situation, again, has been able to recover from another penalty. He gets tight, though, in the air. Dirty Air dragged it off the track. Now as a teammate in the damn machine to set up once again. They are right now running as teammates 5th and 6th.
I have to ask, how did Marino go from the back of the field in what would have been 19th to end up in 5th in 10 laps? My goodness. Car's on. Oh, there goes. Is that the 8? It is Dustin Lewis.
Able to save it. Big time slide. Herkloinen and Good may have got him because Good nearly spun the car out. We stay green, and Good is just in front of him. Now Jewett's got a problem.
Jewett's destroyed. That car's killed.
45 to the wall. Fender is doing aerodynamic flips, and Ullman got him.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's the 8.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. I just, that is baffling to me. How you can see, like that move was telegraphed. You could see that run happening the whole corner, and he still drove into his quarter panel.
Yeah. Curious what the idea was there.
Yeah, that was, I mean, not great.
Now,
not much more to say about it than that.
All of this while we're under 43 laps to go. The leaders are pulling away now, 4/10 up over the rest of the field at least. See some of the air battles like Marino clearing by on Bollinger. I still argue Marino's one of the fastest cars at the racetrack yet again.
I think you're right.
He's able to charge ahead.
I would agree. I want to go back to that lap that we just saw with both Lewis and Jewett having issues. I talked about that previously. 2 drivers who have run top 10 in pretty much every race this year. Had speed, led laps, been consistent up in the top 5, top 10, but both seem to always have problems at this point in the race. We saw Lewis almost crash on the backstretch. Whether that contact was his fault or not is irrelevant. And then Jewett, doing nothing wrong, just gets completely driven through, and day is over. This happens to those 2 drivers every single week, and it's just, at some point, luck's got to turn for him.
Definitely. And sometimes it's just, you got to figure out a way to break the bad luck spell. Get yourself in a position where you're away from any of the factors that could take away from performances. All heard something on the radio. Apparently, Bollinger just picked up on something because Curl really backed up on the entry. Bollinger asked Curl on the radio, "Are you being sneaky?" I don't know what he's trying to plan for, but he did back up a little bit. He's not clutching coasting.
Yeah, I don't know. What I do know is that the 53 radio is must listen. It is one of the hottest radios, I would say. Always got something going on, whether it's in the voice chat or whether it's over the iRacing comms, as you probably noticed, JP. 53, never a dull moment behind the wheel.
He's just trying to have some fun while having speed. What else can you say? Speaking of speed.
Got to have fun, right?
Yeah. That's kind of the reason we're here, is having fun, is it not?
Yeah, I would say so. Some might not agree with you, but I think that's the gist, is that's why we do this. Have fun, go fast.
Especially on the racetrack. Part of the reason you join a series like MRL is you enjoy the people, you enjoy the racing, at the racetrack. Gillen, for his sake, It's a good move done.
Big slide jump.
To hold on. Yeah.
It'd stick. Good work. +1.
A little bit deep once again.
Battle for the lead.
Here we go again. It's Barnes up front. Trying to make the dive on Hayes.
Not going to make it stick. Hayes pinched him down that time. Haven't really seen that from the leader.
Mind you, Hayes is trying to do something pretty improbable. 3 wins in 2 days in MRL sanctioned competition. One last night at Milwaukee Mile. First win in the Castle Glass Company Series. One earlier in Bristol. Trying to get another win here in the Cup Series to make it 2 straight, and that's this series alone.
Should see if we can do a triple header tonight.
I think people need to sleep.
Are you talking about yourself, JP?
Again, I'm probably not sleeping tonight. That's the most I'll say.
It's all the excitement, right?
Yeah, it's all the excitement.
I'm in mountain time. We still got another few hours. We can get it done. We can get it in.
Some people have to work hard to say the very least to make sure.
Oh, Bollinger in the wall.
Yep, again, Bollinger starting to slip back a little bit. Don't want to add any more to the damage at this point.
I just got a message from Race Control. Why not race Kentucky after this? Let's take a vote. You know what my vote's going to be?
It's going to
Bollinger
be
in the wall
yes.
again. Bollinger in the wall again. Gives up the spot to Curl. That's 4th to 5th.
I'm being sarcastic, by the way.
I know.
Conversation earlier.
I know.
But all that being serious, though, coming up 35 laps to go here. Right now, we're almost towards the pit window. That opens up in 5 laps. There is a bit of flexibility on the stop, per se. And remember that 30 is the high end.
Yeah.
With a little save, at least, to make it on the distance there. Not too many people have done that, by the way, over the course of this run. It might come down quite simply, what lap do you pit? And mind you, the fall-off is only 0.6 to 0.9.
Now, the longest run I've seen is 32. That was with cautions. So it's probably closer to 29:30 is going to be your number, assuming you're not saving anything. So pit window close to open. Got another 5 or so laps, and then let it eat. Probably want to get to about 27 to go before you pit to make sure you're good on fuel. Including green-white checkers, get a little bit hairy, but you should be all right for those 2 at that point.
By the way, talking about Kentucky, we do have one person who says,
they're
let's
fired
go
up.
to Kentucky. I'm ready.
They're ready to go.
That one person is in the car right now in 8th.
Hey, that is impressive work. I can't even chew gum and walk at the same time, let alone driving the car top 10 and typing out a coherent message in the VSPEED chat. So thank you for that, Joshua Gillen.
Just trying to be a little bit communicative, to say the very least, here, as he continues to ride. Lap traffic is going to come into play, and it's Richie Kime. The 9 car is in front of the leaders. His splitter's not sealed to the track. Lots of wheel damage. It's been a roller coaster of a night for the 9, and you can tell that car not necessarily having the easiest time rotating, even trying to run just the top.
Let's see what the choice is down in 3 and 4. He's going to stick in the high lane.
No issue this time. In fact, I think he's doing hit the wall trying to get the car to turn this time. Top 3 zoom by. Curl going to reach him in an awkward spot. Same for Bollinger, but the lead pack survives this time. No drama this time around.
At least they weren't 3 wide when they caught him. So that's good news.
So all of them get on by with no problems whatsoever this time. By the way, on the air battles on the racetrack, haven't talked about this one a little bit. Fiffner and Knopfsnyder, this is 13-14, giving them a little bit of love. Knopfsnyder's had a whirlwind. Fought a couple incidents here tonight. Had technical issues coming in. Nearly got himself turned off the corner with the 55 there. But now they're bumper to bumper.
Little bump drafting. SDW is a little co-opetition. 82. Oh, 82 got tight at the lift. 55 should easily take this spot.
Yep, there he goes.
Oh, and into the wall. We had more of those technical issues for the 82.
Yeah, that time drops Knopfsteiner down to 14th. Still a plus 12. But up front, as we enter the green light on fuel, Curl continues to ride. So he's got in the upper hand long run pace to the 53. In fact, he's a little bit quicker than the 48 also. Not expecting too many people to dive in yet. We still have another 4 laps until we start to reach the estimated beginning of fumes on the tank.
Right.
So right now, it's quite simple. For green flag stops for the first and only time here tonight, how do you attack it here at Michigan? It's relatively simple from the eyeball test. But then again, I've also been at Michigan and seen Ty Gibbs have to burn it around William Byron, have to spin it around a flick spin before pit entry.
Yeah, Gary's on pit road right now. First driver in the lead lap to make that choice. There goes Barnes.
Yeah, he didn't like what he was seeing for the race lead, going for the undercut for the point. Now it's going to be interesting where Hayes responds. We mentioned the fall off is not drastic, Morgan. Do you think an undercut works here as well as it does at some others?
Oh, that's a great question. And then really it comes down to, are you faster in clean air or are you faster in with the draft? Because if you're faster with the draft, undercut's a good idea because you want to be in traffic. If you're faster in clean air, you might not want to undercut because you want to have that clean air. You don't want to be in traffic. 48's coming in here.
There he goes. Got to get the speed limit. Does pretty smoothly. That long gear that normally is here at Michigan for the setup side, though, can really help you out on that entry where you don't have as much wheel hop compared to, say, a Chicagoland to the bumps.
Yeah, this is probably the easiest pit road to get onto in all. Well, I mean, Daytona, Talladega are pretty easy too, but this is right up there with very easy pit roads. Good Ullman Wilson on pit road.
So everybody continues to fluctuate in. Some of the drivers going 25, some 24. Others trying to go as far as they can here to make sure they are okay for the gas mileage here in this final stage to make sure they do not lose opportunities. Remember, Bollinger cost himself a race win, heading for the final caution of the day, heading to a green-white checkered.
Fiftner's on pit road.
Here's one of the drivers battling again for 13th before the pit stop cycle on his own. Nobody to draft with. Will Hayes come down this time? Fiftner, I think, just may have crushed his front nose in the recent times, by the way, looking away.
Yeah, already had damage.
Yeah. So he overran his pit stall, was about to say.
Right. We got a great idea in the chat from Race Control. Quadruple header, post Kentucky. Let's just do slinger. Maybe figure 8 action. You know, maybe have half the field go one way and half the field turn around and go the other way and just see where we end up. A la Tony Stewart. Yeah, we got some stuff cooking here. Honestly, really, really solid race from a caution to green flag lap perspective. Race recap, only had 5 cautions tonight.
Yeah, pretty clean race to the expectations. The over and under was 6.
It was 6, 6.5, yeah. Looking pretty good. Hayes, Bollinger, Hinson on pit road. There you see them all. It meets Curl and Joshua Gillen take the lead. Last drivers to pit, not including Knopfschneider, Billings, and White, who are a little ways off the pace.
Yep. Should see Curl coming up here in the next moments or so. In theory, is it going to be? Yes, it is.
Yes, there he is.
The entry, smooth, doesn't try and push too hard for the speed limit. In he goes. That gives Gillen the race lead. First time up in front for the 10 car here tonight with the doubleheader. That leaves just him, Lewis, Knopfsteiner, Billings, and White. As you were talking about some of those drivers on track, see White way off the mark. Net leader, as you would expect, is Barnes, but it's 5 seconds.
Yeah. He took fuel only, no tires for the 27. That's part of it. But Bollinger did the same thing. I think it was just more efficient on and off pit road. Because they came in like half a second apart, and they left 5 seconds apart. White's on pit road. Marino, first driver, taking 4 tires. Good ways back. There's Curl cycling out. Right behind Bollinger. So I don't know what happened to the 53. And looking at it, Barnes was able to roll pit road. Oh, there's a spin. It's Clayton Good. Is destroyed on the backstretch.
You've been saying on the radio we had steering wheel damage already. Well, he's got even more damage now. The 91, the race is toast.
Final 25 laps. Thought this was going to be the car that dominated the day. Oh, I think he hit the seam down in 1. Yeah, and around it goes. Yeah. Not great.
Yep, so Lewis and Obstadter with that also come down pit road right now for their final stops. They went 31 laps, by the way.
So that's a great save.
Yeah. Reggie Kime going to come in this time, and things close up on the window with Christian Barnes up. Bollinger, Marino Jr., Hayes, Curl are your top 5. Bollinger, he's closed up a 1.5 seconds so far since the last time we mentioned times. It's side by side for third also.
Yeah, he is 0.6 a lap faster than Barnes. Potentially get there within the next 6 or 7 laps. If he can keep his pace up, of course. See this time. 38.9 to a... Yeah, 38.7, still 0.2 faster.
See how much Bollinger is able to dig away. Now my main thought though is eventually there's going to be an equalization point. We already talked about the difference between the old tires, the new tires, and some of the drivers just had a hard time carving after a few laps what builds up of the temps. Right now, you've got to get within the draft pretty soon if you want a chance at the 27.
Well, the thing that's weird is that Bollinger didn't take 4 tires. Neither did Barnes. So I don't know where the speed came from in the 53, just rolling clean air better, still 0.2 faster that lap, but they both only had 12 or sub 12 second stops, which would tell me probably 2 right side tires. Definitely fuel only. It's definitely filled up with fuel, but potentially only the 2 tires. So I'm confused as to why he's still so much faster than Barnes is. First driver on 4 tires is Marino Jr. behind him, along with Hayes and Curl.
You see the slides right now in particular for Hayes. Trying to hold back his teammate. Remember, those teammates not afraid to fight on the racetrack. Now they're working together at the very least on the sync up. See it again, the 48 doing a phenomenal job on the racetrack we touched upon. I'm curious if we see more Marino Jr. in future races here, just with the way things have gone here tonight. With this doubleheader, been in contention up in the front in both races, was second in his OER race at Dover. He's got a knack for the Cup car. Just get him on the schedule, get him into availability.
Yeah, I mean, been quick in all the starts. You're right. It's difficult. I mean, it's a weird situation they have over at DAM Motorsports because they have a lot of good drivers, but they've only got the 4 seats or the 3 seats. So, I mean, they break the 12 out every now and then, but they've only got the 2, the 12, the 45, and the 48, and they've got 5 or 6 quality drivers. So, how do you fit them all in properly is kind of the tricky part. It's like having a really stacked bullpen. It's a great problem to have, but it's a problem nonetheless.
Definitely so. As you see how much the lanes continue to swap about amongst your top 5. Hinson, by the way, has just lost spot to Wilson and Gillen are all part of those drivers. Battling it out, in fact, in the next pack. You see the side-by-side. The two Fords have definitely had their moments here tonight, Morgan.
Yeah, both have been sideways a time or two. Both have been in the top 10 for most of the day. So solid runs, maybe not quite as fast as either of them wanted to be. Of course, the points leader, you expect maybe a little bit more out of the 93. So they passed the very off-pace number 9, who is so far off the wall on the exit. And then Hinson, who is just trying to rebound after what was a great run at Bristol gone sour. Running in the top 10, solid day, just maybe not quite the expectations the 39 has for himself either.
Yep, you see just how tight things are getting there off some of the corner exits here. We're coming to 15 to go. Right now, Wilson trying to continue to plug away. Mind you, the points leader coming into tonight still in a position trying to make sure he outscores that 81, or at least keeps up a decent bit. There goes Hinson, though, with the swap. They'll bump and bang and try and work together in sync as the Fords work together. The lead gap, by the way, is under 2.5 seconds now. Bollinger up at the front has chipped away. Same for Marino a little bit, but it's only stayed a tenth in the increase since the last time we talked about. Bollinger seems to be the only driver with a chance. So the drivers like Hinson, for comparison's sake, are running even quicker than the leaders, but are way too far back.
Yeah, at this point, just classic Michigan. You kind of got what you got right now. You're either praying for a caution or you're just happy that things are going the way that they are. And not much you can do other than just keep plugging away. Bollinger has closed it down to under 2.5 seconds.
I was about to say, yeah. Oh, look at that scattering going on for the second group, but you're right about that. It is going down, but I don't know if it's going to be enough here. Even though he's gaining, he's running out of time to do it. Right now, you see Barnes on the undercut, just showcasing why you need to be confident on the call, and better yet, you need to pick the right lap to do this, to gain a couple seconds, and that's exactly what's worked out perfectly for the 27.
I think that was the first lap that they were even. Barnes was even a tick faster that time by. Might be too little too late for Bollinger. Might have had 2 slip away tonight. As these guys are going at it back here. Holy cow.
Yeah, you see Rubber Hayes in particular just trying to continue to play different lines here. Doesn't want to feed dirty air to his teammate and team boss. And again, the accelerated motorsports entries continue to stay well in tune here. 12 to go. Late in this one here in Michigan in a doubleheader. Started racing action, give or take now, 4.5 hours ago. This is actually going to end up being one of the quickest races of the season, even though it's a part of a doubleheader here tonight.
Yeah, both of these will be rather quick. I mean, that entire first stream was under 2 hours at Bristol. This one should be probably, yeah, right around that 2 hour 10 mark. So 2 very fast races. Of course, schedule was decreased to make up for the doubleheader, but still, I mean, drivers, they wanted to get this thing done as well. And they've done a good job of making sure it's pretty green. We have 12 cautions in the first one, 11 cautions in the first one, which is pretty good for Bristol. Here we're sitting at 5 in Michigan. So, yeah, really solid race. Oh, wall contact for the 48. Contact. Oh, man, this is what had caution number 6 right there.
Oh, they're scraping now. Marino Jr. getting really aggressive to hold on to the spot. Slide job back. Now parks it on Hayes' nose just about. Hayes gets him loose. 10 laps to go from Michigan. Marino Jr. playing a dangerous game with the blocks, and he's going to get turned.
Wow. Yeah, these are hyper-aggressive blocks right now.
Not done yet.
If you're Hayes, I don't think you're going to put up with another one of those.
Now he's got, oh, his teammate bumped him and he nearly got turned for it. Curl trying to give him assistance. Hayes held on to it and loses a spot. Obviously not the intention of the 15, but that help didn't happen to work out well.
Yeah, I think Curl's probably going to give that spot back here, knowing that that was Not obviously the opposite of the intent. Was trying to help, ended up hurting Hayes here. Hayes might need to take a moment just to kind of cool off a bit and then regroup and recharge at this 48.
It's a possibility with the way things are going, absolutely here. You can see just how them all reset. Coming to 8 to go. Now up on the board here in Slim Chickens Cup Series action. Curl now taking a little bit deeper run to the inside as they zip on their way through. Time to equalize for the race. Lead, by the way, to about 2 seconds. Barnes looking comfortable unless there's a caution or lap traffic. All while, you can see Curl with the pole is nearly back to the bumper of the 48.
Now what does Curl have for Marino Jr.?
That's the huge part. You see Marino Jr. doesn't want to feed the draft fully down the straightaway.
Look how much Curl closed up in that one corner within a tenth, and he is there down the straightaway.
Now will Curl go for the pass yet? No, he's going to stay on the bumper. Now goes to the right side of the fender. Now tries to think of the best way to attack this run here. Try to make sure he doesn't lose it. Will he get the run for the straightaway, though?
I think yes. Block for the 48. Weaving back and forth. Thought he had the run. Just not quite enough.
You see Curl got the run inside. Here he goes for the spot for the top 3. Has no help. Hayes is not close enough. Can Curl pull back the 48? Got to the fender. Goes for the slider. It's Curl. Now with lap traffic ahead as he clears for the third spot.
Yeah, it's going to be a race to Knopfschneider and Billings now. Curl shows bottom, trying to use the 82 as a pick to secure the spot. 82 goes bottom. Lap car's doing a great job staying out of the way here, but it allowed Hayes to close up.
Now you see the lap traffic stage at the bottom now. Hayes now in position to try maybe keep up with Curl. With under 5 laps to go, by the way, the gap went down half a second with the lap traffic. Barnes' gap all of a sudden is rapidly declining. Now it's the question, is Barnes good on gas?
Pretty close to in the draft as well. Like in fact, he might be in the draft now. It's only a second and a half. Less than that, second and a quarter.
Yeah, it's closing up big time now, and as we mentioned, 27 to 30 was the estimated mark tonight for the top to the bottom of the gas tank. Barnes is letting it roll a lot more. Reggie Kime tries to stay up at the top, is passed on by. Curl built a buffer now for the third spot. Marino just slammed the wall down for 4th.
He knocked it down. Yeah, it's under a second for the lead. Barnes is going to end up right around that lap 30 number as far as on this run. Baldry will be closer to 25 when it's all said and done. 7 tenths now.
Now finding a way to chip away late. Look to be in Barnes' hands with about a 2-second gap with 10 to go. All of a sudden, it's been a half a second a lap lost pace for Barnes.
Into the wall for Barnes.
Now Bollinger's got the draft. He's within 6 tenths. Closed up another few hundredths this time down the straightaway. Coming to 2 laps to go. Can he get enough of a send on the 27?
This lap has to be perfect. You've got to be within 2 tenths on the final lap, or else you don't have a shot at this.
See him trying to wrap the high side.
He's going to lose ground.
Yeah, he didn't really gain it all last lap. He only gained a 10th last time after all.
He lost in turn 1 and 2.
Still has half a second to close in a lap and a third. Barnes this time sliding up the racetrack. Bollinger able to plant it down a bit more on the throttle. It's down to 4/10. White flag is up in the air. Final time around for Michigan. Can Bollinger steal this race? It's under to 3/10. Closing up under 2.5 tenths.
You got to wait till 3 and 4 to make the move. He's got to set it up here. It's under 2 tenths now. Oh, they're both hard on the wall. Here comes Curl.
Both slammed the wall down. Did that cost Bollinger his chance?
It did. He's losing time now.
Oh, and Bollinger can't turn now. Bollinger destroys his car, loses second. It's Barnes slamming the wall down, getting the win at Michigan. What a finish. And it's time for the drift for Christian Barnes. He knocked the wall down and then some. Bollinger got it worse than he did.
Yeah, I think if Bollinger, if he just takes the corner normally out of turn 2 and doesn't try and mirror the 27, he probably wins this race handily. Got caught up with chasing the bumper, and yeah, that ends up in third. Kevin Curl gets around him on the last lap, but Christian Barnes, I mean, pulled the strategy off perfectly and getting the job done for Waterforce.
Celebrations on for Barnes over Curl and Bollinger. Bollinger dragging his car to damage third. Marino and Hayes on your top 5. And so the celebration is on for the first time this season for the 27 machine. Driver who contended for the championship last season gets it done tonight.
Didn't contend for it, won it.
Absolutely.
All 3 of them.
Now, the quest to try and get an Air 1 gets itself a little bit of reprieve and momentum here at Michigan. Let's take a look at your unofficial race results. Crow in second, Bollinger third. Marino in the top 4 with Hayes. Hinson finished half a second up with Wilson. Gillen and Ullman amongst the top 9. February by our second. Gary got a top 10 for the 51 car.
Good run for him. Dustin Lewis finishes in 11th. Fiftner in the 12th spot. Knopf Schneider in 13th after having all those technical issues. Pretty solid day for the 82. Billings in 14th, matching the car number. Zach White, top 15. Reggie Kime, 3 laps down in 16th. Harold Leadfoot Tucker III will finish in the 17th spot. Clayton Good crashed out in 18th. Derek Jewett crashed out 19th. Cochran, same deal in 20th.
21st went the way of Brown with Robertson down in 22nd. More than 100 laps down for Nelson, Hunt, and Jones here tonight after an interesting night for a doubleheader with Bristol and Michigan. Sofa News Victory Lane for the second time is propped up here in the MRL. This time out, Christian Barnes gets his first win of the season. The 27 brings it home. Christian, talk us through that pressure building up late as you and Bollinger knocked the wall down to the last lap.
Oh yeah, I knew that once he got within a second, he was going to have the draft, and at that point, I had to mirror drive and give him dirty air, and I knew that he obviously had the better tires at the end, and yeah, I guess I just hit it more flat than he did, and or I guess more with the side than the right front, and yeah, I guess a little bit lucky, but I mean, man, I didn't think I was actually going to be able to hold him off late there. He started gaining on me really quickly once we got through lap traffic. Yeah, it was a roller coaster those last few laps.
Yeah, and are you surprised it took you this long in turn to get your first win of the season?
Oh, 100%. I felt like there's a few races that I kind of let go, or something just happened, and I think it was Chicagoland that I was a top contender, and I got spun late, and yeah, that one definitely hurt. And then there's been a few others that I felt like if I would just done something a little different, or something would just gone a little my way, maybe I could have got something. But finally, this race, I was able to put everything together. I was able to get good stage points and be up front at the end. And luckily, the strategy just played out my way.
That in mind, no triple header tonight, but we go to Kentucky next. How do you feel about Kentucky?
That's an interesting track. I haven't raced it on here yet, so I'm expecting that it's probably going to be a tire wear track. So I think I'll be up there at the top, but I can't say for sure if I'll have as good a speed as I had tonight.
Any show would you like to give here tonight?
I just want to thank Waterforce Racing, especially Gavin Henson, since he makes my paint schemes, and I also want to thank Brad because he was up there too. Unfortunately, his race didn't go the way that all of us hoped, but we appreciate everyone on the team.
Congratulations on the run.
Thank you.
Christian Barnes gets himself a win here tonight in this one. Second spot goes the way of one Devin Curl. Yet again, he's on the podium. This time, he's with Morgan.
Hey, Devin. Morgan and JP up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, it's been a while since we've talked to you here in the VSPEED booth. And today, this one not quite as dominant as the last one. You ended up squeaking away into second there with the contact to the wall with Bollinger. Strategy-wise, you took, it looks like 4 tires on that final stop, around the same window as everybody else. Did 2 tires ever cross your mind, or were you always just set with 4 and see where it shook out at the end?
I was always set for 4. I know that some of the other guys out there took 2, but honestly, the race, they play out the way they play out, and you can't ever predict anything. But unfortunately, I probably should have pitted a lap or 2 earlier, so I didn't get stuck behind the 48 there. 48, he was blocking pretty aggressively on River there and myself, and that cost me the time that I would have needed to get to those guys, especially with what they did by hitting the wall. Had I been half a second closer, that would have been a different finish. But unfortunately, is what it is, and still can say that we walked away with a P2. Double deuces for tonight is nothing to hang our head over. Good points day.
Yeah, average finish of 2.0 tonight. That will definitely get the points moving in the right direction, considering where did the 93 finish? 7th, so you definitely gained some points in both races on the 93, so points battle should look different when we go to Kentucky next time out. But, I mean, all in all, you mentioned it wouldn't take much time for you to switch gears from Bristol to Michigan. It looked like it took a little while, though, for you and Hayes to really get going in this one. You didn't really appear in the top 5 until after stage 3 started. What was that by design, or what kind of took so long to get the fire lit?
I can't speak for River, obviously, but for myself, it was definitely by design. I thought that the front half of the race might be a little hectic, and I was right. So I was able to let some of those guys wean themselves out as far as wrecks go. And when it got weaned out and there was less cars up there, I figured that it was time that I could start going. Also, the long runs really played into that. I tried to pit there and go a lap down so that I had fuel to end the second stage with. And unfortunately, the caution came out. I was going to be perfect to the end of stage 2 there and probably would have had the lead from then on out. But caution came out, so whatever, got the lucky dog. And from then on, it was just about trying to maintain track position and save tires. So at the beginning of those runs, I would let off and let 1 or 2 guys by design, knowing that in 5 laps I would get them. And you could see that on the last run there from lap, probably 75, 76 to around 96 or whatever, when the green flag pit stop started happening. I let the 48 and the 53 by, and within 4 or 5 laps, I was passing both of them back and was starting to chase down River there as the pit stops happened. Think that I was a little too conservative on entry and through into the box, which probably could have cost me some time too. But I think that had I just pitted a lap or 2 earlier and didn't lose a second a lap to those guys, that I would have been able to come out in front of River, come out in front of Anthony specifically in the 48, and that would have helped drastically.
All in all, though, excellent evening in the doubleheader for Devin Curl. I know what you're going to say, but who do you want to thank? Who do you want to shout out for just a great time here tonight?
I should just put it on a replay button.
You should. We should just have a soundboard ready for you.
River Hayes. Unfortunately, Caleb didn't get a good finish tonight. He got wrecked out pretty earlier. I think he
both
wrecked
times.
himself. something happened. I think it was maybe a screen freeze or something, unfortunately. But
Self-clear.
yeah. Well, I think his screen froze, and that's what happened. At least that's what I heard from in the Discord. But yeah, unfortunate. But all in all, River and I were able to come home with 2 top 5s for both races. Would have loved to have won tonight, but like I said, two second place finishes, best average finish of the day for anybody, and good points. I'll take it. And as far as the other, my wife obviously gonna go see if she's asleep.
All right. Well, congratulations on second for the second race in a row here tonight. We'll catch you next time out at Kentucky.
See you.
Second place, Devin Curl.
Solid night in the books for him. Colin Bollinger able to charge up to third, or rather, stay up in the conversation, charge up for the battle of the race lead, then slip back to third after the contact of the wall. Talk us through your perspective on that battle for the win.
I mean, it sucks. I mean, not only did we have a chance to win there at the end, and we hit the wall so hard we ripped the wheel out and lost a spot, but coming into the pits there for that pit cycle, I slid through my box and lost about 4 seconds. So, I mean, if we maybe don't do that, we're probably out there by ourselves, dancing away with the lead. But we did a double whammy tonight in both races. Made a mistake 2 times tonight for 2 wins to lose. So, it's just how it goes, I guess.
So, in your opinion, how do you feel about a doubleheader like this with tonight? Because 2 different mindsets to racetracks, 2 different philosophies. What was kind of your approach coming in, and how do you feel that was executed with Bristol and Michigan?
I mean, I thought it went as smooth as it could honestly go. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's 12:15 now, but I mean, we started racing at what, 8 o'clock, and we got through 2 races in 4 hours, and they're still decently long races. So, and for me, I thought it was good time. It's more racing. So, I mean, I like league racing a lot, and the fact we got to get 2 nights was pretty, or 2 nights in one was pretty cool. And yeah, we didn't get the race last week, but I made up for it tonight.
So in that regard, we're going to Kentucky next time out. How do you feel about Kentucky?
It's horrible. They should get rid of it or fill it up with water, something. But we're gonna be there, and we're gonna try to do something with it.
Unfortunately, we're not a boat simulator, so
Can you tell that we're teammates, or we're teammates?
Yes, I can very much tell. Absolutely. Anyone who want to give a shout out to here tonight, Colin?
Just everybody at Team Delusional Racing, or C4 Delusional Racing. Jacob Cochran, Dustin Lewis, Rayshon Wingfield, wherever he's at, and I don't know what he's doing. And then Daniel Plant Smith for making all the cars I run all these weeks, and then you guys, and then my former teammate Morgan. I love you, Morgan.
Congratulations on the run tonight, Colin.
Thank you, guys.
Colin Bollinger gets himself a top 3 tonight. I'd like to thank the top 3 for speaking with us during post-race coverage here on VSPEED. Your final thoughts tonight here after a doubleheader galore, Morgan. Tonight was a long one. In turn, nearly 5 hours of action.
Yeah, this race went pretty much how I expected in terms of cautions. Ended up with 5. Really solid race, I think, throughout. There were a couple moments that made you scratch your head a little bit, some contact that really didn't have to happen, but all in all, just a really good race. Came down to strategy. The undercut was the right move, although I really thought the 53 was going to get it done and pass the 27 there in the final laps. They both pounded the wall off of turn 2. It was exciting down to the last corner, and Michigan, it didn't disappoint here tonight. Neither did Bristol, for that matter. Really good night altogether.
On that note, the Mystic Racing League is complete with the doubleheader tonight for the Slim Chickens Cup Series. I'd like to thank you for tuning in for tonight's coverage for the Irish Hills 250, the second leg of our doubleheader tonight here on VSPEED. For Morgan Cook, for our camera producer, the great Dougie Beard, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. You've been watching tonight's coverage of the MRL from Michigan. See you next time out from Kentucky in a week's time here on VSPEED.